The $4 billion project planned for downtown San Antonio.
Yeah, the city council getting a briefing on the projects that will be moving forward in 2026. And while some of them will be getting underway right away, there are some others that will be getting put on the back burner. We have a network of reporters covering all the angles for you tonight.
And right now we start with the News 4i team's Jay Avila. You've been in these meetings all week, Jay. So can you break down for us? I know there's a lot to break down, but break down for us the big developments.
Well, there are some things that they want to move quickly on. The city, for example, the city council is going to vote tomorrow morning on buying the old federal building on Cesar Chavez Boulevard. This is right next to the site that used to be the Institute of Texan Cultures, where they want to build the arena. So this old federal building, the city will have to buy it from the federal government, the General Services Administration, for $30 million. And the Spurs are going to give that $30 million to the city. And the city will then own that building and a couple of parking lots across the street, which they will proceed to lease back to the Spurs. Now stay with me. The reason they want to do that is because the Spurs and their developer would then build a hotel, retail, office space, and housing on that spot. So this would be a mixed-use development that would be really key and vital in funding the arena itself, because you would have lease fees from those new businesses, and you would also have property and sales taxes that could then go toward the arena over a period of years. But the reason this is the first step is because the Spurs are going to give that $30 million, provided the council approves that, to make the purchase of this building, because all the funding mechanisms that the city has and is using take years to accumulate those taxes and lease fees and everything. And so the Spurs right now can give them the money that they need to buy this building and get to work. So that's the first step. Another thing, of course, is buying the land itself that the arena would go on, which is where the Institute of Texan Cultures used to be located. About $60 million. And they're still trying to figure out exactly how that would be paid for, but that's got to be done relatively soon, because of course they want the arena to open for the 2032-2033 season. So the vote on the federal building, that's the first domino that has to fall. That'll be tomorrow morning. Back to you.
All right, Jay, and another question before we let you go. As you were talking about, a lot of moving parts right now, but how soon before we can see ground being broken on all of these plans, if you know that quick?
Well, in many cases, it's not going to be in 2026, because what's being done are a lot of consultant studies that have to be done first to make sure that they're going about this in the right way. And of course, they have to issue bonds in some cases. So what really needs to be done, and it's a lot of work, is all ironing out the plans, buying some property, and then making sure that all this moves along at the correct pace, all these different moving pieces. And they decided just yesterday to send out a request to see, a solicitation really, to look for a firm that they're going to pay $10 million to be the project manager on all these things, to make sure that everything stays in sync over the years. Back to you.
All right, Jay, thanks a lot for that, bringing us up to speed with a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
A lot of different components here.
Exciting to see what happens with the vote tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, as we learn more, of course, we're all waiting with bated breath to find out exactly what's going to be happening. We are hearing from city leaders about today's briefing and the release of even more details. News 4 San Antonio's Destiny Fuller has also been following along with us.
Yeah, she's live now after speaking with people, including a former mayor and also the county judge.
Yeah, Mandy, Jonathan, those people that we spoke to say overall the presentation in itself was a big step, but there are still plenty of questions that need to be answered. Now, the council heard that presentation, which broke down the plans and the timeline for the downtown sports and entertainment district. It gives us a piece of the overall puzzle and provides some details for people who've been calling for transparency throughout the process. We caught up to former mayor and county judge Nelson Wolf. He says this public presentation should have been one of the city's first steps in this process.
I would have done this way before they even went to a vote. And had they done this before, I think there wouldn't have been as much controversy, as much opposition to the project as we saw in the previous election.
Judge Wolf says while this part is a good start, it's still important to answer some of those lingering questions. He and others we spoke to brought up questions about parking, traffic, and overall costs. We know that there's still a long way to go and that this is only the beginning. Destiny Fuller, News 4, San Antonio.
All right, Destiny, indeed it is. Of course, we're all watching this right along with the Spurs organization tonight.
Yes, along with the city, the Spurs probably have the biggest stake in this project, so they're watching very closely. Sports Director Don Harris, I know you are too. What do you think the Spurs are feeling going into tomorrow's vote?
Well, they're going to be there tomorrow. They weren't there today. It's interesting. We've heard all along that this is going to be about a 5-year construction project, and I'm sure that is why there's a need to move this along. The Spurs lease with the Frost Bank Center ends in 2032, and everybody seems to believe that the target date, as Jay said, for the first year in the new arena would be the 2032-33 season. But until more is known, there's no hard timeline right now. In fact, I reached out to the Spurs today for their reaction, got a statement from their chief counsel, Bobby Perez, who said, "We are excited about working with our community leaders, citizens, and stakeholders to develop a plan with milestones and timelines in the near future." And there's a huge incentive to get into that arena by that season. And that has everything to do with the financial future of one Victor Wembanyama. I'll explain the when and how much of his Supermax contract will play into all of this coming up at 6 o'clock. Guys, back to you.
All right, Donna, before we let you go, that is, we know that there was a lot of eyes on the vote itself. Now that Project Marvel is moving forward, we know the Spurs are playing pretty good. What does the future look like as far as the Spurs, just overall in the reshaping of this downtown area?
Well, as you know, they're built for the future with Victor Wembanyama, with Dylan Harper, with Steph Castle. They're looking a lot like the Oklahoma City Thunder, who they played last night. And that is, you look at Oklahoma City, they're building a brand new arena. 2 small market teams looking to be able to survive in the economic toughness that is the NBA with larger markets having a lot easier ways to make big revenue. And so it's important for both these franchises to get moving, especially if you look at the timeline, which I'll show you later at 6 o'clock. By the time this thing is finished, Wemby will be in year 10 of his NBA career. So that's why they're watching this so closely.
All right, hopefully.
Seasoned veteran at that point.
Yeah, and a couple of championships, hopefully at that point. All right, it's looking like the plans announced today will also have an impact on the new downtown baseball stadium.
Now, these plans are moving faster. They're hoping to have that finished by 2028. The new baseball stadium will be along Cameron Street in West Martin near Fox Tech High School.
And that's where we find News 4 San Antonio's Ethan Trejo right now with the very latest. Hey, Ethan.
Jonathan, Mandy, good evening. Now, discussions are going on right now. You talked a little bit about how discussions have been going on all day. Discussions about the baseball stadium are happening right now. City leaders are being debriefed on that new minor league stadium that's going to be built right here in the San Pedro Creek area, right where the soap factory apartments currently sit. The stadium and surrounding project area is set to be overhauled in a project valued around $1 billion. Since the last discussions several months ago, the city founded the San Pedro Creek Development Authority and relocated all residents from the soap factory that were in phase 1, in the phase 1 area of their plans. They are trying to get this moving fairly quickly. The next steps in the process will be creating a feasibility study and a traffic security and intersection improvement plan. The city is also discussing what exactly they're going to be doing with the Nelson Wolff Stadium that's currently built on the city's far west side. They're looking to hire a consultant to provide some opportunities for redevelopment. Now, you can see behind me that the gate for one of the soap factory apartment buildings is already closed. They're trying to get the stadium open by April of 2028. Reporting live, Ethan Trejo, News 4, San Antonio.
All right, Ethan, thank you so much for that. Today is just the beginning of the massive plans to reshape our city. And as the downtown development does get underway, know that News 4 is going to be here for you and covering all of the angles.
Always. We will be following the money. We will be watching the waste. We will be seeing how neighborhoods, individuals, people's family are all going to be impacted by this.
And coming up, we will have much more tonight at 6 o'clock, including a closer look at the downtown plans that are being pushed back on the back burner, at least for now. You can also get the very latest right now on our website, news4sa.com, and be sure to download our News 4 mobile app to get all of those updates sent straight to your phone.